Lamer Gamers. This is Simply Travis and
Rowdy 5000
for the Lamer Gamers podcast. In today's episode, we're going to let you know about what's coming up in the Animal Crossing Summer Update, talk about a new character with long arms showing up to Smash, along with some other interesting news items from this week. Then we'll jump into a fake gaming news PSA about the Nintendo Switch, along with some interesting patents that have shown up for the PlayStation 5, and end the rumors section with some more Xbox Lockhart potential news. Afterwards, we'll talk about the games we've been playing and end the show with some bonus points about the latest controversy surrounding Mixer being absorbed by Facebook Gaming.
Bunk.
Now, speaking of Facebook, there are these advertisements for this mushroom coffee that they sell on Facebook. It looks really gross, but in today's episode, Rowdy is going to try out some of that weird-looking mushroom coffee they're selling on Facebook. How's it taste, Rowdy?
Man, tastes like a bag of butts.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. It didn't look advertising. I think I'll stick with regular coffee.
So, I don't know what's in this stuff, man, but I suddenly have the urge for to eat human flesh.
Oh, no. Rowdy, hand me that. Let's see. It's got that. Cordyceps fungus? Hey, isn't that the same type of fungus that created the zombies in The Last of Us?
Yep. That must be why I have the sudden urge to kill over and release my spores.
Rowdy, not again. Okay, guys, give us a second while we pump Rowdy's stomach. Back after the music. Someone plug up the vacuum and get some duct tape, stat! Alright guys, before we get started, if you like what we're doing, don't forget to press up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, then start. Oh, and then like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. Also check out @LamerGamersCast on Twitter, and throw a review down on Apple Podcast or Podchaser. So, let's get to the news. Now, the first thing we have today is the Animal Crossing New Horizons Summer Update Wave 1. By the way, just so y'all know, it is summer here in the steamy swamps of southeast Texas. And I hate to tell you guys, but there's no way around this. We need to have a serious talk about background noise. We have to have air conditioning in southeast Texas.
And I do my best to try and edit it out. I only run central AC while it's going. I try not to have any fans or any other type of AC units running, but it's still going to pick up. So I'm going to do my best, but there's probably going to be a lot of background humming till at least like the end of August.
And you may occasionally hear buzzard-sized mosquitoes flying by and June bugs and horseflies, because that's just how it is. They sneak. So what happens is in the summer, when you open the door and you get hit with a nice, wet, warm air, those little insects sneak in and they fly around your house and your dogs try to bite them. It's pretty intense.
Dude, it seriously feels like we're breathing hot soup here.
Yeah, pretty much. I wonder what flavor ramen the air is over there. I know yours is probably plant flavored.
I was going to say it's benzene flavored.
Benzene!
Yeah.
Mine's a little bit fresher at least. You know. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the Animal Crossing Summer Update. So I'm going to read through what Nintendo said, and we'll kind of mention things that we need to add to it if needed. On their website, they say, get ready to make a splash in your own island paradise. A series of free updates to the Animal Crossing New Horizons games for the Nintendo Switch will deliver new features, including the ability to swim and dive for sea creatures. Which, by the way, my wife freaked out whenever she saw that the otter was back.
Yeah, dude, it's a pretty awesome update, man. Because, what is it? They added that into New Leaf.
Yes.
And blew my mind, dude. You could swim around, catch everything underwater.
Get eaten by sharks. Yeah.
And that otter. dude, he's awesome. What is it, Pascal? I think is his name.
Yeah. Now, they say
Yeah.
you'll also get to interact with fresh faces and discover a variety of new items, including mermaid-themed furniture. These free updates are among some of the new experiences coming to your island over the course of the summer. So this is Update 1. It will drop on July 3rd. Now, under the swimming and diving, it says grab a wetsuit and get aquatically acquainted with your island marine life when swimming and diving, arriving to Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Hey, that rhymed.
It does. Also, you can scoop up sea creatures, keep your eyes peeled for any additions to the museum, because apparently you can bring things to Blathers, which is always a good time. And our friend Pascal, who is the otter, which otters immediately have like the ultra cute factor, according to my wife. They will have Pascal, and he loves scallops. So if you find any, he'll be like, hey, you got any of them scallops? I love
Got any more
scallops,
bud?
Yeah. Also, there's going to be adding some stuff with Gulliver. He's going to have some pirate clothing. So apparently he is going around and taking over ships and some real intense stuff. It's going to be like Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, but with Animal Crossing. That's not real.
He stopped coming to my island because I would gather all of his pieces and just keep them so that they become rusted parts so that I can make my Gundam or whatever it's called, the big robot. Because when you get his communicator parts, if you keep them for a day, they turn to rusted parts. And you have to have 30 rusted parts to make the mech. So he stopped coming to my island because I stopped giving him his parts.
Wow.
That's not really why.
Sure it's not. Sure. All right. So that is going to be a big update for people that are excited about Animal Crossing. It's about that time where people are like running out of things to do that are playing Animal Crossing. So I think the update is well timed. Next up, some more Nintendo Switch news. A couple of episodes, we talked about a rumor that the Outer Worlds version for the Switch was going to look good. That was absolute fake gaming news.
Dude, I've seen some videos and it looks bad.
It is ugly. But I do know some people that are playing the Switch version. It is playable, they say. It just looks
that's always
like
good.
Yeah, it just looks like hot garbage. So the next update is apparently going to improve performance. So I think for like pop-in and stuff like that. Didn't say graphics necessarily. So,
dude, nothing will ever look worse than Ark on the Nintendo Switch. Do yourself a favor and go watch videos of Ark. It's already a fun game. It doesn't necessarily look the best.
Right.
But on Switch, it runs like potato.
Potato is a good way to describe it. Like potato that's been sitting in your cabinet too long and you forgot about it and you're trying to figure out what that smell is and you're looking around and you realize that there's some weird grossness in the back of your cabinet and this potato has a million eyes and it's staring at you, stinking up the place. Then when you pick it up, it just hits your senses and it's bad. That's what Ark is like.
It's the cordyceps growing out of the potato.
Exactly. Can you tell I've worked in a produce department, by the way? Rotten potatoes are one of the worst things in the world, right behind rotten tomatoes, both which people have issues spelling plural. So
yeah.
All right, next up, Min Min is from ARMS is joining Smash Brothers Ultimate. Now it requires the Challenger Pack 6. And this character, if you couldn't guess, is going to be a long-range character with a lot of cooldowns after attacking. What I think is really interesting is you can do the down special, and it changes out the arms. Now, there's always a dragon arm on one side, but the other side can switch between a dragon arm, a chakram, which gets thrown and comes back, and the big meaty whatever giant cannonball looking monstrosity thing is. Yeah, that one. But
Snore.
Oh, dude, I'm pretty excited about it. I am not excited about paying for more DLC, though. It is going to require the next packet of DLC, so, get your wallets ready because Nintendo's got some long arms and they're about to pull some money out of it.
But
Next up, Cyberpunk 2077 dropped a new trailer, The Gig. Now, Rowdy, I gotta tell you, so freaking excited about seeing this. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I'm so far behind. I haven't seen this yet. I need to go see it. I don't have much input for this podcast now that I think about it.
It's cool.
I've been working a lot.
We were kind of talking about. We were just going to say Rowdy reacts to Travis's news items a couple
Pretty
weeks ago. I
much.
think it works out. Yeah. Which
What I've seen so
Okay,
far, like it looks awesome though.
Oh, yeah. And so, first of all, it looks fantastic. Digital Foundry did take a look at it, which is generally who I try to read into whenever they talk about more technical aspects. If you don't know already, the game is still being focused on for like a 1X or a PlayStation 4 Pro graphical level whenever it releases, and then later on they're going to upgrade it to PS5 level or Xbox Series X level. But it still looks really freaking nice. Now, it is using some minor ray tracing, but mostly it's like ways to trick you into thinking it's being ray traced, which is different techniques in global illumination and other stuff. But either way, it looks fantastic. The game also does look to be bigger than expected. I don't know if you know this, Rowdy, but whenever I was thinking Cyberpunk 2077, I was just thinking, it's going to be a massive city, and that's it. But there's actually a large desert area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I you know what? I did see that too. You know what? I've seen more of this than I thought I have.
You might have.
Have you seen all of the what is it? So they made the Cyberpunk 2077 edition for Xbox One X as well as the controller as well.
Yeah.
It looks pretty awesome. But what blew my mind was they are actually making a Cyberpunk 2077 RTX 2080 graphics card by NVIDIA.
That's impressive.
Dude, like, I'm not big on PC gaming, but after I saw that they like made their own special edition graphics card for it, dude, it made me wish I had a awesome gaming PC to play this game.
Well, you just need a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's like, you can buy a gaming PC for $500 if you try it and you don't buy Windows. You just hack it.
Man. If I were to actually make a gaming PC, like, I don't see myself spending less than $2,000.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because you're honestly, these next systems, if they're what's being reported on, these things are hitting way above their belt. So, all right. Let's see. Next up, the voice acting sounds great, as if we didn't know that already. It's got people like Keanu Reeves in this game. I mean, it's going to be breathtaking, right?
I didn't know this. He's playing the lead singer of a band in this game, and it's that band they're called Samurai, but it's actually, I think the band in the game is actually that band, The Refused, if I'm not mistaken. They're like a
the punk band, right?
Maybe like a Swedish punk band, or
yeah, I listened to The Refused.
It's like a hardcore.
Yeah,
type.
it's in
not
that
full on punk, but
yeah,
it's definitely screaming and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I mean that's how it works nowadays, right?
I've heard 2 of the songs from it. They're pretty good.
Now I'm gonna have to listen to The Refused after this. Like, I know I've listened to them; they've shown up on Spotify. So yeah, that's happening after the show. All right,
I'm gonna double check that while you're talking.
That sounds perfect. Now, one thing I did like was the shots from this trailer. It looked like a movie trailer. Like, to me, it was on par with something you would expect to see with a movie. It was cut that well. I'm hoping, because the model animations that go along with the talking, the way the voices, facial expressions move. I mean, it looks like a movie spot on. So I'm hoping the production values stay consistently good with that. Now, I was a little concerned, though, because it looks so well done. Whenever I see a game that is that pristine, it makes me think, oh, it's going to be a follow the bouncing ball. You have to go do this. You have to go do this. And there's no freedom. But I think Rowdy was telling me earlier he's seen some a lot of praise for this game, but they were saying that just let me know if I'm saying this wrong. That different reviewers were saying the game was somewhat overwhelming that have played it already because there's so much to do.
Yeah, so it wasn't a negative thing per se. Like they were talking about how they loved everything that they did, but that it's overwhelming because there's so much to do, and that if you don't have the time to put into the game, that this is not a game for you. Like just think about how long The Witcher 3 was. I was telling Travis just before we started, I put probably 2 months into this game where it was the only game that I played. Oh, and it still took 2 months.
I'm wondering if it's going to have that same effect, because whenever you play The Witcher 3, you have to be in that world. It's so encompassing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wondering if it's going to have the same feel. Like, to me, when I think of these big open world games, let's say Fallout 3 or 4, right? Or Skyrim, I don't feel like I have to stay in that world forever. You know?
So speaking of those, in the actual one video I did see talking about Cyberpunk 2077, they were talking a lot about the controls.
Okay.
Where the hand-to-hand combat felt a lot like Batman Arkham Asylum or what is it? Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Those type games, basically like the WB type games.
So whenever you press, you have one main attack button, but then you have like a button that is your repartee or your block or counter.
Well, they didn't mention any specifics about it, just that it controlled like that, and that it and it's weird the way they described this, because they said that's how the hand-to-hand combat felt, but that the movement in the game felt very much like Fallout 3 or Skyrim or some of your Bethesda first-person RPGs. So it sounds like it's going to be it's going to move back and forth between fast-paced, slow-paced kind of deal, which isn't a bad thing. We'll see, because everything that I've seen was not necessarily footage of these people playing. I don't know if they got to record their footage and put it out.
So that actually sounds good to me, because I started playing Shadow of War, and I was going to talk about it a little bit later, because I didn't like how you move around. I love the fighting, but where you have to hold the A button to run and sneak, you hold certain buttons. Like, it had a weird disconnect that I didn't enjoy.
It's an Assassin's Creed ripoff. That's all it is, man.
Oh, I know, but if you play like Odyssey or Origins, though, it feels completely different when you're running around. Because when you move the joystick, you can run at full speed. Whenever you're playing Shadow of War, though, you have to hold the A button.
Oh, no. Yeah. So the new Assassin's Creeds, it's like that. The old Assassin's Creeds, right, no, you had to hold A. Like, I find myself doing that a lot with the new Assassin's Creeds, holding A, and you don't have to. Like, Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, Black Flag, like, those are the ones that I played the most. And, yeah, you had to hold A the whole time. And when, when Middle-earth Shadows of Mordor, the first one, came out, the creator of Assassin's Creed was like, oh, hey, look, they made an Assassin's Creed game in Middle-earth. Shots fired.
Shots fired. All right.
Years ago, shots fired. But yeah, no, Cyberpunk 2077 gonna be awesome. You just
yeah, absolutely.
You need to have the time, but I'm gonna try and get it out of the way as quickly as possible, because I don't want to be bogged down with all of the PS5 releases, because I will not let Cyberpunk 2077 get in the way of me playing Bugsnax.
Oh, goodness, Rowdy. Now, I mean, Bugsnax is going to be an epic adventure that spans 80, 90 hours, right?
That's right. Talking
Lies.
about Bug Snacks.
No, that is a game that I'm not. Like, I want to play it just for the sheer absurdity of it. I am so not excited about running around with hot dog hands.
Well, it's going to be really hard to play this game with weenie hands.
All right, next up, Marvel's Avengers, which was, I think, kind of really pushed as like a PlayStation exclusive for a while. No, it wasn't. Okay.
No, it's an all systems game.
Okay. Well, they are now saying that it is going to come to the Xbox One and we'll get a Series X upgrade for free. Also, they've announced that it's coming to Stadia and PC. So,
Meh.
just kind of a quick one on that one. Nothing major. Next up, the Xbox Series X badge has been explained. There's a new badge that says optimized for Xbox Series X. And if you look at it, it's the shape of the console like an actual box. By the way, we actually have a box for the Xbox. Does anybody realize that, or has anybody pointed that out lately?
It's box for the Xbox?
Yeah, it's just a box. There's no weird other shapes added to it. The original Xbox had some roundness to it and other things. This is the first
a box for the Xbox box?
Yeah, it's a box. Anyway, so they have said what do they mean whenever it's optimized for Xbox Series X? It means that they are doing a performance target of 60 frames per second at 4K. Now, that could come in multiple different fashions, right? Because whenever you play games on the PlayStation 4 Pro or the One X, there's usually a setting for resolution mode or performance, right? So there was a big thing going around that Assassin's Creed Valhalla was going to only do 30 frames per second on the Xbox Series X, which would mean that you wouldn't have that kind of slider to choose between it. But apparently they are now targeting Assassin's Creed Valhalla to be an optimized for Xbox Series X. So there's also a list of games that they are saying are going to be optimized to run at 60 frames per second on 4K. That's going to include Bright Memory Infinite, Call of the Sea, Chivalry 2, Chorus, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be optimized for it. Destiny 2, because that's running on every single system in the world. Dirt 5, FIFA 21, Gears 5, Halo Infinite, which, by the way, has a teaser trailer.
Dude, Halo Infinite better run at 60 FPS 4K. Like, that is their huge first-party title. Like, that game has to sell.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Dude, I would be so mad if I got a Series X and Halo Infinite didn't run at 64K.
Yep. Next, let's see. Hitman 3, Madden NFL 21, Marvel's Avengers is optimized. Outriders, Scarlet Nexus, Scorn, Second Extinction, The Ascent, The Medium, Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines 2, WRC 9, FIA World Rally Championship, and Yakuza are currently being announced for the optimized for Xbox Series X logo. So, it apparently is also going to be a big thing that a lot of games that are coming up in the July announcement for Xbox are going to be part of this, or almost all of them are. So we'll see. I think that'll be interesting because right now we're still seeing PlayStation 5 really targeting. They are hitting 4K, but a lot of their games are 30 frames per second. Of course, there's going to be 4K 60 frames per second games, but we do see kind of a more variation there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, when I get that PS5, like, I understand that it's not going to have the resolution a lot of the times, but if they don't put out their first-party games at the highest resolution, I will rage.
Yeah, I still am, like, in that weird area where, like, I think 2K looks okay even on a 4K screen, but if you, like, drop below that, it's a little tricky.
They better not drop below that with these new systems.
Yeah, that's true because they're the size of a giant pelican. We're just going to say that. The PlayStation 5 almost looks kind of like a pelican. Yeah. All right.
Oh, man.
Okay, next up. Last of Us 2 has sold 4 million copies in 3 days. By the way, Rowdy's been playing Last of Us 2. Rowdy, how you liking that game?
Dude, I absolutely love it. I've been trying to work on a solo episode where I talk about all the controversies of The Last of Us 2 and my takes on them. Because I'll tell you right now, like some of the stuff that people were complaining about, if that gets you upset and makes you not want to play a video game, why are you playing video games?
Yeah.
Some of the stuff was so minor. Like, I thought that most of this game was going to include some of the complaints that people had, and it was literally like some of the stuff they were complaining about took all of 30 seconds of the game. I was like, really? That's what got you upset? But back to those sales numbers, it is now the fastest selling PS4 exclusive, beating out Uncharted 4, another game made by Naughty Dog, and what I thought was one of the best looking games ever, Uncharted 4. Well, the best looking game I've ever played. And that now goes to Last of Us 2. This game looks so amazing.
Yeah.
The way that the faces move and everything, it doesn't look like that. What is it? The Uncanny Valley stuff, where it just looks weird. Like, this looks supernatural. The way people move and things like that. Now, it is still a video game, so it's not 100% natural with the way that some people move and stuff, but I don't ever see that happen in a video game. But yeah, it's amazing. If you look at physical copies of the game sold, a lot of news outlets now use England's physical sales, because apparently it's just a lot easier to track physical sales in England. A lot of the places in America don't report till like a week later, and it's just really hard to keep track of everything for some reason. But in England, they're saying that the physical copies of Last of Us 2 has outsold Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Oh, wow.
And Animal Crossing physical copies. So that's pretty impressive. Now, I understand that like Animal Crossing was during the pandemic,
right,
or the beginning of the pandemic, so everybody was buying it digitally. But at the same time, I mean, that's pretty impressive for the a PlayStation exclusive. Mm-hmm. It's super fun. I love it. It's very Game of Thrones ish.
Now, you have complained about in the past PlayStation games download far slower than they should. Do you think that contributed to it?
It's not that they download far slower, it's that they install so slow.
Of course, that'd be the same thing for the disc, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, like, you put the disc in, it's still going to take forever to install. Now, it would install quicker than downloading, but, yeah, man, like, dude, the install speeds on the PS4 are so ridiculous. Apparently, there's some way to do like a reboot or something and make things load faster. Only on a PS4 Pro. But I'm afraid to do any weird stuff like that for fear that I may lose data.
All right, so our last thing, if you have any more news, just let me know, Rowdy, that you want to talk about. It's about time for Crash Bandicoot 4, called It's About Time. They announced this. It's going to have over 100+ levels, new gameplay modes, new abilities, and I'm honestly not too familiar with the series myself. Do you ever play that series?
I did a little bit here and there. Believe it or not, Naughty Dog is the one who created Crash Bandicoot before they did the Uncharted and Last of Us series. But I want to say, man, when was the last Crash Bandicoot? God, it had to have been like late 90s, I think.
I know they re-released like a fancier looking version of it.
Yeah. They did. They re-released everything and made it all fancy and things like that. But as far as an actual sequel, Let me see. I'm looking it up right now. It's been quite a minute.
It's been a couple minutes, quite possibly.
Well, of course, when I pull it up, they're not numbered. It's that freaking Capcom. Okay, so Crash Bandicoot 3 came out in 1999.
Ah.
So I lied. 1998.
That's still a long time, man.
So it's been 22 years since there's been a new numbered Crash game. Apparently, there's been a whole lot of different platforms like Game Boy Advance and PSP and things like that. But this is the first numbered one since 98.
I wonder if we're going to see a resurgence of platformers because, you look at Ratchet and Clank, which looks fantastic. Like, I kind of want to play it, and I don't have any intention of getting a PlayStation 5 anytime soon. But then Crash Bandicoot, I wonder if we'll see another Mario in the future. There are no rumors about that, but
yeah.
But there is the rumor that though Mario is going to re-release some platformers, but I haven't really seen or heard anything about that in a couple weeks.
Dude, they better.
Anyway, it would be fun because I kind of miss the fun in video games, and platformers are always just pure fun, All right. Except for Fetch Quest. Whenever you get in a Fetch Quest one and then you've been looking for a freaking happy dancing music note for 3 hours and you can't find it, and yeah, that sucks. That doesn't make me happy. All right, guys. After the break, we are going to come back with rumors and fake gaming news. Alright guys, now before we get to the rumors and fake gaming news, if you want to check out a good gaming news site, drop by our friends at parallaxmedia.one. They have some excellent write-ups of current gaming news, opinions, and editorials that I think you would enjoy. Alright guys, so I'm going to start this out with a fake gaming news alert! Now, there is an exploit on the Switch that is allowing people to show Wii U and 3DS titles viewed in the Nintendo Switch eShop. If you see any news right now that just happened to pop up this week that is showing, this game that I was really excited about on the Wii U is now going to be on the Switch because it's showing on the eShop, well, essentially people have exploited it to show websites and things like that inside the eShop, which, the eShop is essentially just a fancy website, right? So, be aware of that. That's just kind of a quick fake gaming news alert for the Nintendo Switch. Next up, according to Idle Sloth, there has been... I love Idle Sloth 84 is... Actually, I really dig their account on Twitter. It's a person that focuses on Xbox stuff specifically. Don't go there expecting positive PlayStation news. It's very one-sided, but he does provide usually pretty good stuff. He did find a placeholder account for @Fable on Twitter, and it literally says placeholder with a lock. So, and it showed that they joined March 2020. So he posted, or I think it might be a she, I don't know. This pretty much confirms #Fable. Take a look at the placeholder for it. So I'm trying to find out if it's true, but it's a rumor for now. I think it's a good rumor, and Microsoft owns that Fable stuff. They probably need to make some money off it because the last couple Fables they released through Microsoft were garbage.
Well, Fable 1 and Fable 2 were awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
Fable 1 was short. You could beat that game in 8 hours, but it was still fun the whole time. And Fable 2, it had a really good marketing going up to it. It sold really well. I loved it, man. Fable 3, on the other hand... and let's not forget...
I still like Fable 3.
There was the Fable... I forget exactly
Legends?
what it's called, but it used the Kinect.
Yeah,
that was a turd.
Microsoft tried to take Fable, which has its kind of own ecosystem and world, and it has its own, I guess, form factor. And then they tried to shove it into a box, and parts of it were hanging out and dangling, and it didn't really fit in there real well. And they kind of mangled Fable. So hopefully, they allow whoever is developing Fable, because Lionhead had been assumed by Microsoft, and then a lot of their developers split off. And they currently, some of the developers are on a game called Kinseed, Kynseed. I'm friends with the project manager over there at Kinseed that works on Kinseed. But there's a lot of cool stuff from those developers. I'm curious though, is it going to retain that kind of original Fable feel if we don't have some of those older developers? Or did Microsoft, open up the wallet and start chasing people down to come work on the game again? I guess we'll see.
Man, knowing the AAA industry, no.
Yeah.
They would have spent as little as possible.
I think everybody's afraid of getting Molyneux to work again, too. That dude gets out there. He over-promises on game. I mean, he's basically what I complain about with Stadia. Whenever you overpromise and underdeliver. Like, one of the big things with Fable was he promised that you could plant an acorn, and eventually over time that tree would grow, which is a lot of what they do with Kinseed, is by Kinseed is a very, I hate to say it this way, Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing-ish kind of genre. It's a life sim, essentially, but it goes through various generations. It's pixel art. I really need to reach out to Matt and do a side quest on that. I need to bug him about that again in the future. Nice. But anyway, yeah, it's a great game. I need to get back into it. They've done a lot of updates, but yeah, Molyneux overpromised, never really delivered, and that's been one thing that stayed with Fable for a long time. Anyway, let's go on to the next thing. PlayStation 5 patents. Now, I've been digging in the U.S. Patent Office website. I did find this from other websites, and then I started looking around. There has been a patent leak for the PlayStation 5, but this time it's focusing on the user interface. Sony's Vice President of UX Design, Matt McLaurin, recently confirmed that the PlayStation 5's UI is a quote-unquote 100% overhaul of the current PS4 UI, with a focus on it being practical. Rowdy, who is our resident PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 user, Rowdy, was the PlayStation 4 UI practical?
Yeah, man. They've used pretty much the same UI since the PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 had this UI. They call it I think it's called the XMB.
Okay.
The cross multimedia bar, or the cross media bar.
Okay, so I looked at the pictures on these patents, and it appears as everything can be accessed with basically like a ribbon that goes from left to right, or like a bar of things you select from, including a camera, music icon, movie, controller, internet, and a smiley box, which I'm assuming is social.
Is this the newest one?
The new UI.
Because that sounds a lot like the old UI.
It sounds exactly like the old UI. And then whenever you move left and right, you can go up and down in it. I mean, they're saying...
Because basically, it was called the cross media bar, and what you did is you had... you moved left and right, and that had different categories. So you would have, like, games, movies, trophies, settings, things like that. So then once you get to said category, then you move up and down to get to the different menus that you needed to go through. And they use this for PlayStation 3, the PSP, and the PlayStation 5. I mean 4.
Heck, they use it on DVD players from 2010. I mean, it's nothing new.
Snap. Sony has been using that for stuff outside of the PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, I've owned many Sony products, and it didn't look too different. Now, the main difference is it does show like you still see the background of what's going on in the game. Like, it pauses it and it makes it somewhat see-through, essentially. So I don't know if there's really anything that different. McLaurin did say you can see the UI and access everything in the matter of milliseconds. I I don't know if that's what a lot of people are freaking out about. The next set of rumors that's related to this is an assistance mode built in, which Rowdy and I have actually talked about in the past. I mean, it's been a long time since we've talked about this rumor. Where in the PlayStation 5, if you're like stuck on a certain part of a game, you could potentially have the system help you out or look up videos showing you how to get through it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot about this, and one of the worst parts of this rumor is not only like, will it be like, hey, certain X percentage of people had problems here, X amount of people solved it by doing this.
Yeah.
But the main problem with this rumor is that there's possible monetization with it, or possible microtransactions, where, hey, people used this item to get past this part. Would you like to purchase said item? Which that could easily be put in if the developer wanted that.
Right.
I'm hoping that that's just part of the rumor. I don't see myself using this assistant mode, because that's most likely going to be in there. It sounds like something that would be good for people who aren't normally gamers.
People that suck at games. I'm sorry, that are not so good.
But
lamers.
God,
like us.
I hope they don't monetize it.
So I'll just tell you, there are pictures of that system in place filed in the patent systems now. So It is not quite a rumor. It is patented. It doesn't necessarily mean 100% it's going to get there. I did not look specifically for the monetization aspect of it, but I'll be looking for that in the future. So it's coming, most likely. So this one, it's probably going to happen. I still don't think it, like I said, it didn't look anything drastically different except for that part in the UI. All right. Next up, Xbox Lockhart rumor keeps getting more exposed, more leaked.
Did you know that the Xbox Lockhart was actually named after Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII, a game that you cannot get on the Xbox?
Rowdy is lying. Do not listen to him. Rowdy is fake gaming news. All right. Okay, so now it appears that this is getting more leaked. And this is pretty typical of gaming companies that want kind of like a soft announcement on something to get people excited, which, I mean, after the PlayStation 5 reveal, which was pretty spectacular, is extremely well done, they pretty much needed the extra chatter. While the PlayStation 5 look didn't go over so well, the games, I think, went over extremely well, right? So it's appearing in places like Forbes and VentureBeat that there is now a Lockhart mode in the Xbox Series X dev kit, which shows performance targets for the console, and then there have been leaks that show actual documentation. So it's a very visible leak. It actually has a lot of there's a lot of clarity behind it that you actually can see what they're talking about. So here is what is Lockhart mode. Lockhart mode shows that the Lockhart will have 7.5 gigabytes of usable RAM, 4 teraflops of GPU performance, which is actually putting it below Xbox One X, and does fall in line with rumors we've seen in the past. Their main targets for resolution are going to be 1080p or 1440p gameplay instead of 4K. Okay. Putting it in comparison, the Xbox Series X has 13.5 gigabytes of usable RAM, so quite a bit more, and 12 teraflops of GPU performance. So we talked about last week the epic night of mic drops rumor, which Rowdy made sure to inform us. Rowdy, do you want to give us the PSA?
Don't drop your mic. I'll punch you in the face.
Right. He will socially distance punch you in the face. There was a rumor that went with that said the console would be $200. With these specs, if it's running that low of spec, I almost could see that happening. That's if they still use Game Pass to offset the revenue, with the revenue they're making, because that's a pretty low thing. Now, the thing that could change it up is the Lockhart is still rumored to have the ray tracing module built in, because Microsoft is pushing ray tracing really hard in all of their in their tweets and everything that's happening in social media right now. Like, that is going to be where they focused, which I've been talking about for a while. And that does take strain off the GPU. So we'll see. I kind of, if these Lockhart rumors, which are looking more and more convincing to me, I could see the Lockhart coming in at 300 still, if it has that ray tracing module. If not, I could see it possibly even being 250 or 200. I don't know, man.
I don't see it costing less than a Switch.
Yeah, I still think that is... I kind of agree with you there. I think we're also going to have to see what Sony does.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, so this one, I'm going to say it's the Lockhart's going to happen just due to the nature of these leaks, but I think some of these numbers may not be completely accurate, especially regarding the prices. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. We'll definitely know here within the month. Next,
have you seen Spawnwave on his YouTube channel? Every time he talks about the Lockhart, he has this little graphic of what looks like an Xbox. It basically looks like half.
It looks like a black
Series
GameCube.
X. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It looks like a black GameCube.
It needs a handle.
I love the way that looks.
Like, I would 3D print a handle just to have it. Man. All right. Last rumor. This one is going to fit squarely under most likely like the Aliens guy from Aliens history, like rumor section for me. And it's about a group called Farm 51. Is it related to Area 51? We'll never know.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Probably. They're cows being abducted by Microsoft guys. This is the real news that you need to know about. No, that's fake. Anyway, according to Respawn First, which is a common rumor spewer that we tend to read on here, Farm 51 may possibly be acquired by Microsoft. Now, they're known for games such as Chernobylite, World War III, and they're the studio that handled The Witcher in 2007 as an outsourced project. Okay. According to Respawn First, they're going to be holding a shareholders meeting on June 29th and plans to introduce a capital increase for a new quote-unquote strategic investor. They claim that an investor coming in right when reports of Microsoft possibly being interested in Polish studios, according to I guess Respawn First. I don't know who they're saying this is according to. They are essentially alluding that this is part of the mic drop night rumor. I don't know why they're suggesting that's part of the mic drop rumor, because the company's not exactly a company I don't think a lot of people are excited about. But I'm definitely going to be wearing a tinfoil hat and writing a big X with a Sharpie across my tinfoil hat whenever discerning whether this rumor is true or not. I mean, it could be. It's just...
Hey, that tinfoil hat, man, that'll stop the 5G.
It'll stop the 5G.
Oh, my God.
Keep them out of our brainwaves. All right.
I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. I'm going to slap myself.
I'm gonna jump through the screen and slap you too, Rowdy. Let's hold up.
Socially distanced.
All right, there we go. Yeah, I just did a slap. Don't get that mixed up with the claps that we use.
No.
we clap at every break to synchronize the sound. Anyway, all right, Rowdy, you got any rumors or stuff you just want to make up and spread with the world before we move on?
Man, I already told you my rumor that Xbox Lockhart is named after Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII, a game that you cannot get on Xbox.
All right, guys, after the break, we're going to talk about the games we've played recently and then end on the bonus points segment where we asked Twitch streamers and followers of our Twitter, along with some other podcasts, what do you think about Mixer turning into Facebook gaming? Is it good or is it bad? We'll see you after the break.
Before we get started talking about the games that we've been playing lately, hey, we stream stuff now. Not only are we recording the podcast live weekly in all its raw, messed up glory, But we play games too. You could join in on the fun, ask questions, or add to the conversation live at twitch.tv/lamergamerspodcast. So this is the section where we talk about the games that we've been playing. And for me, it's not that much this week. So first off, Animal Crossing, obviously. I have decided to completely redo my island. It's,
like, are you making it like Italy and you have rivers everywhere, or are you...
The funny thing is, the neighborhood where everybody's going to live is going to look like Venice.
Ah, fancy. I was trying to make a joke and I was going to go somewhere with it, but nice.
There are rivers running between the different neighborhoods. The only difference is they're kind of on different cliffs. So like there's an area where it's like 9 different houses so far on 3 different rows on 3 different levels with a bunch of stairs and bridges and rivers. It's complicated.
It's not going to be like separated. It's going to be like the Hatfields and McCoys.
No.
Where you have different groups of Animal Crossing ones getting in fights.
That would be awesome, though. Set them up on different sides of the island like that. But, yeah, it's a slow process because I refuse to time travel.
Hey, I'm anti-time travel, personally. If you time travel in Animal Crossing, you're a dirty cheater. That is my personal opinion. And I don't know if I should say that, but you're a dirty cheater. Don't cheat.
Well, one day I was playing Animal Crossing, and over and over and over again, my dad's name kept popping up, saying that he was online. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Like, why is he popping up like 9-10 times here? So I text him, like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm time traveling.
Oh man, that's great.
My
dad plays games the system on Animal Crossing.
My 60-year-old father is gaming the system on Nintendo Switch, time traveling, so he can make his island better.
Yep, selling them turnips.
So the next game, no, you can't time travel with turnips.
Oh, I don't know these things. I don't time travel because I'm not a dirty cheater.
If you time travel with turnips, it spoils them.
Good.
So the only other game that I've been playing this week is The Last of Us 2. And all I can say is, dude. Okay, so The Last of Us 1, one of my favorite games of all time. It's a top 5. And The Last of Us 2, it delivers. It looks so good. It plays so well. Now, the story, oh my God, it's very Game of Thrones-esque. I understand why people who didn't like Game of Thrones don't like this game. I, on the other hand, love it. I mean, you have people just dying left and right. I mean, it's a crazy story of revenge, and then a lot of stuff has caught me off guard. And you play as a couple of different characters. I'm near the end, I think. So we'll see what happens, man. Maybe there'll be a Last of Us Part 3. I don't know. Oh. It's getting kind of crazy right now.
Well, I know you're going to have a side quest in the future. Don't know if it's near future or far future.
Yeah, we'll
or
see.
If you're going to time travel to get there like your cheating dad.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about putting together an episode based around the controversies from the game that we talked about last week, from the review bombing and things like that were in there. It's probably going to be a spoiler-full episode.
Yeah.
Like, don't listen to it unless you want it to be spoiled.
We will make very clear, or Rowdy will, because I will be nowhere near this episode, because it will be a ruckus rants, and I can't be in a room when Rowdy's getting all ruckus. There is collateral damage to be had.
It's going to be a good one, I think. I enjoy the hell out of it. I absolutely love it. Now there have been people saying that ending though, we'll see. I haven't made it there yet. I probably put 6 hours into it just today.
Nice.
But yeah, man, I got to plow through it. I got to see this ending everybody's talking about.
It's a lovely range of games you've played.
Yeah, Animal Crossing and The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
It was funny at the time when Animal Crossing came out as the same day as Doom, and I was playing Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal. That was very different.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's it for me this week. What about you, homie?
All right, so there have been two main games I've been playing. I surprisingly haven't done a lot of gaming this week. I started playing, I was looking for things to play on the Game Pass. I started playing Shadow of War because I had finished Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Started playing Origins. I don't know why, but I wasn't really feeling Origins. Definitely between the two, Odyssey is really much better in my opinion, but it's also because I'm a fan of the RPG aspects and storytelling.
It's because you played them out of order.
I did play them out of order, but I'm okay with it because I honestly think if I would have played Origins first, I don't know if I would have ever gotten to Odyssey. And I haven't put a whole lot of time into Origins, but it seems far more like it's pulling me along the story rather than letting me explore it and experience the way that I want. So, where in Odyssey there are ways that you can side with different groups, you can start wars, you can finish battles, there's islands you can go to and completely get through an island or just ignore it unless it really needs you to get there. You can deal with the tons of people you assassinate that are in a cult. There's so much to it that I think, I don't know, am I wrong for thinking this? Does Origins have that level of goodness that I want, the gooey center of games?
Origins is just going to be a different game. What you have to realize is that Origins was a reboot or a soft reboot of the Assassin's Creed series. Right. So it tried a lot of new things. Mm-hmm. So they listened to what a lot of people liked about it and didn't like about it when they started to make Odyssey. So I think that's one reason why playing it out of order is kind of bugging you, because Odyssey is definitely going to be the better one. I haven't played it yet, but I guarantee you it's the better one. Just because they listened to everything that people had to say about Origins,
right?
And then they improved on the stuff that they liked, and then added in other stuff. A lot of the stuff you mentioned is not in Origins.
Okay, and what I'm also, I am seeing that they are trying to pare stuff back for Assassin's Creed Valhalla to be on a smaller scale than Odyssey, but I like the grandiosity of it. I like being able to go and almost completely ignore half the world. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting. I'm curious if Valhalla is going to be a good mixture of the two, or if it's going to be, I really like this Odyssey style, but it's because I like the open world RPG aspect of it more than anything. All right, anyway, back to the game I was talking about, Shadow of War. It looks fantastic. There's just tons of stuff going on, but I think it lacks the charm and craftsmanship I expected in a Lord of the Rings game, like something that's related to the book. Whenever I read Lord of the Rings, because I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan and the Hobbit series and all that stuff, the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings series, sorry. To me, there is a poetic way that they do things in them that I don't see in this game. It's dark, and it's darker. The locales are not as interesting as I'd hope. Like, there's these giant castles, and those are really cool, but that's really all I'm experiencing, and the scenery along the way is just, like, not special to me. And whenever you read a Lord of the Rings book, man, that's a big part of the book. It's very descriptive on the sceneries and how interesting things are around them. So, I don't know. I was getting a little bogged down by that. But, like I said, there's a lot going on graphically. There's tons of enemies. I do feel bogged down by the controls, though. Because, like I was mentioning earlier, you have to hold A to run. and you feel very slow whenever you just use the joystick by itself. I feel like the A button is worthless in my mind. It's just excess, especially after playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which uses a similar play style. It's just, it feels slower to me and it feels clunkier. And also just trying to wrap my head around what the game wants me to do. I just feel like I'm being dragged along. Now, there are some really interesting orcs and things that you have to assassinate. Some of them are a little creepy, though. Like, there's one that's obsessed with me, like, in a really weird way.
A lot of them will be obsessed with you, depending on their attributes. Like, you know, when you go into the, what is it, the screen where it shows all of the generals and stuff like that, and you have their attributes, like they'll be scared of fire or weird stuff like that. So some of them, they are obsessed with you and will hunt you out instead of you hunting them. Now, I was going to say, I played Middle-earth Shadows of Mordor and loved it. The game was so fun. The story was compelling. Everything looked great. Shadow of War, on the other hand, to me was awful. And I'll tell you why.
I could see that.
When Shadow War first came out, it was a game built around microtransactions. It was such a... The microtransactions in it were so predatory that people review bombed the hell out of it. And it got awful reviews all around, so they changed the game. So you don't have the predatory microtransaction system anymore. But when they took that out, they didn't really tweak anything else in the game. So this is a game that's built around microtransactions with no microtransactions now. So there's not as much story that went into it. The graphics are basically the same as the other game, instead of it trying to be better. And I got bored with Shadows of War and quit probably, I don't know, 10, 12 hours into it. And I mean, I damn near 100%ed Shadow of Mordor.
That explains a lot of things, because I have played I played more Shadow of Mordor, and I felt like the story was presented far better. You got background on the character. I felt like the cutscenes were more compelling, whereas this game is just, it's kind of boring.
Yep.
And okay, so it's not just me. I do think the gameplay is better. I think I got to say, on the Xbox One X, it is they did some extra graphical stuff. It's in 4K. It looks good. It does look notably better on the One X comparatively, because they didn't do any enhancement on Shadows of Mordor. But yeah, I'm done talking about that game. I uninstalled it because they announced a new update to one of my favorite games from 2019. You know, back when we were all blissfully unaware of what the hell was about to happen to us, Children of Morta has...
Hindsight being 2020.
Yeah.
But
Children of Morta, they had a new Game Plus mode that happened a while back, but they've also added extra content and a new character recently. So if you don't know what Children of Morta is, it is an ARPG, so it's a very Diablo-like game. But this one's kind of mixed more with a roguelite. And it has a wonderful story that goes along with it, where you're part of the Bergsons and you're trying to destroy the corruption. It's fantastic. If you had a choice between Minecraft Dungeons and Children of Morta, because they're about the same price, don't even look at Minecraft Dungeons. Children of Morta is so much better. The only problem is it doesn't have online play at the moment, which is coming.
Your dirty mouth.
Dude, it is so good. All right, so the new character is Apon. Here's the introduction for the character. Among the Asva tribe, she is known as Clan Mother. She was barely out of childhood when her talent for healing started to show. As a youth, she would participate in her tribe's battles to treat and nurse the soldiers, but wasn't above picking up a weapon and fight when it was called for. In one of these wars, she nursed the health a young warrior named Dal, the son of their tribe chief, from critical wounds. They started courting and got married on the midsummer day, under the lucky shade of willows. As a gift on their marriage day, Doll gave Epan a magical dragon-shaped flying kite upon which she could ride over the entire lands of the north in a day and a night. Years later, when she spied the amassed pitch-black clouds in the distant south, she decided that she was needed in the Midlands, and she arrived there to give aid to the Bergsons in their fight against the corruption.
So I was just doing some research here, and I was looking up the meaning of the name Bergsons, and it actually translates to son of burgers.
I did not expect this. I mean, I don't see how that connects. I'm really confused. Burgers save the world? That's amazing. That is important commentary from Rowdy. I love that. All right. Well, here are some updates from the Burgers, Son of Burgers house update notes. They have the brand new character, special shielding skills and passive healing mechanics, 32 Apon-specific runes, 9 new story cutscenes, HUD and UI tweaks along with bug fixes. The game does run smoother. I'm playing it on the One X. I do know somebody that is playing it on the Switch. It seemed to run really well recently. It's a fantastic game, guys. It looks great. It is pixel art, but it's done in a way that is not kind of your boring pixel art. It is created by the team, a team that has worked with The Witcher 3. It's just a good game. If you haven't checked it out, and you see it on sale, which I think it's on sale right now for $14, stop listening to our podcast. Stop listening to me. Go buy it now.
Everything's on sale on Steam right now.
Oh, on the Switch, dude.
Everything's on sale on everything right now. Like,
yeah,
everybody's
pretty much
having their summer sale right now.
Got to get that revenue going, man. Now, I will say one thing I do like about it on the Xbox. If you buy it on Xbox or PC through Microsoft, your game will be playable on either system. If you buy it on Steam, that's not the case. So I actually play this game on Xbox on the TV, but then I'll occasionally play it on my Surface tablet whenever my wife is watching something or playing some other games. So, or get it on the Switch. It's good on that too. Anyway, that is what I have been playing lately. Up next, we are going to have our bonus points section where we will talk about Mixer being absorbed by Facebook Gaming and some bonus points from friends of the podcast. All right, guys, before we start gathering some bonus points, don't forget to share the show with some friends and look for us on www.lamergamers.com, and you can go find our subscription page if you don't know which podcasting platform to find us on, because we're like on all of them, but
not iHeartRadio.
Yeah. I hate radio is how they feel towards us. I put in the submission for this 5th or 6th time this week, so we'll see if anybody could call us back. Anyway, so this is the section where we have a question that we put out on Twitter, and we get some bonus points of view from others regarding this. And this week I tried specifically to reach out to some streamers I know that are more affected by this. Some are specifically Mixer streamers. But the question is, what do you think about Mixer turning into Facebook Gaming? Is it good or bad? So what had happened was recently Microsoft announced that Mixer was basically going to disappear, and they were going to start moving over to Facebook Gaming. Now, the reasons behind this are up for discussion, and I'll mention something here in a bit. I know Rowdy has heard some things regarding some definite issues going on. What did you hear recently?
So, Mixer was probably already on its way out.
Right, nobody was using it.
The day before the announcement, there were quite a few people who came forward with accusations of racism and sexual harassment from the higher ups at Mixer, and you can read a lot of their personal accounts that I've seen on Twitter, and these are graphic. Some of the language that was used by some of the higher ups is not something that I would want to hear from people that I worked from. So I can understand some of these people being mad about the things that are going on. I mean, you could find all kinds of stuff on Twitter. It's not hard to find. I wasn't even looking for it and found like 3 or 4 stories.
It was just thrown at you.
And it's bad. Now, I don't know if that had anything to do with the closing of Mixer, but it is a little fishy that the day after these people came forward, they announced Mixer was shutting down.
Now
they're shutting it down. Was it July 22nd?
Yeah, it's coming pretty quick. Now, there are some people asking, what happens to the Mixer app? And are they going to incorporate other ways to stream? Because, I mean, you can stream on the Xbox systems with Twitch. So they're saying, yes, we want to give gamers choice of where to stream from on the Xbox, but right now it's going to Facebook Gaming. There doesn't appear to be a Facebook Gaming app that will be allowing you to stream to Facebook. So that's really up in the air. I'm curious. Now, this is all going to be speculation, what I'm about to say. They're wanting to move more to Facebook Gaming. Recently, there have been reports of Microsoft and Facebook using the Azure servers for this Facebook Gaming stuff they're doing, essentially. There's a lot of people that have been using Facebook Gaming that you can see it's growing pretty drastically right now, but they're using Microsoft servers. Well, I don't want to say friends at Facebook. I'm not the biggest Facebook fan, honestly. But
I hate them.
Facebook spent a lot of money on an acquisition quite a while ago. Do y'all remember the Oculus?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Facebook is it kind of owns it. They have a lot of investment into this. I'm curious now. Like I said, this is completely speculation. Are we about to see the Series X work with the Oculus in some form or fashion and output to things like Facebook Gaming easier? Is this all kind of a play to incorporate not only Twitch, which is Amazon's system, right? Twitch runs off of Amazon's cloud servers, whereas Facebook Gaming runs off of Microsoft's cloud servers and is going to be more of their in-house solution for things, which the Azure servers have been shown to run a lot more efficiently than Amazon services or even Google services. Is this part of the kind of moving the chess pieces forward? And then Facebook could possibly offset some of their investments into Oculus and give, let's say you have, a couple million units of Xboxes sell, and then you start selling Oculuses with them. Is this going to be all part of that coming up? So that's my personal concept or thought about what's going on. I think this is not just about the streaming platform itself. I think they're working together to build that way, because Facebook Gaming's community is much larger than Mixer is already.
So I was actually trying to look up the growth of game streaming since the beginning of this year due to the gobbles and everybody being stuck at home.
Yes.
I can't find it. There was a whole bunch of people reporting on it, just talking about how ridiculous the growth with all of these streaming services was ridiculously high. Obviously, Twitch being on top.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
YouTube behind that, and then Facebook Gaming actually growing a significant amount, whereas in a 1-year time period, Mixer grew 0.2%.
Yeah, and I remember seeing those. I actually saw those graphs, and I forgot to include them in our notes. But I think that's another part of it. Like Mixer, they put a lot of money into. They brought in people like Ninja and other big streamers, and it wasn't panning out. And
Ninja and Shroud, they were asked to go over to Facebook Gaming, and do you know what they did?
Probably said no and ran off.
they forced Microsoft to buy them out of their contracts, and now they're free agents.
I could see that. Facebook isn't exactly popular with gamers. However, there are so many people on Facebook. You know, you're going to see a large group of people going there just for ease of access and already being part of that system. Because nearly everybody's on Facebook nowadays, right?
So
I know I have to be on it, unfortunately. Huh?
My personal opinion on that is Facebook to me is one of the most toxic communities I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. Just the amount of hatred that's on there, how quick everything spreads, false news, everything like that. I do my best to stay away from Facebook. I have a Facebook basically to keep in touch with people, and I have friends that for some reason refuse to text and only use Facebook Messenger. No idea.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But this is why I have a Facebook, and every once in a while I hop on there and I see just how ridiculous it is. But at the same time, I've seen people who post their videos, the same videos that they post on YouTube, to Facebook, and depending on the subject matter of said video, they could get, you know, a few 100,000 views on YouTube, but millions of views on Facebook. So I think they're trying to, I guess, use like you said, the ease of, I guess,
everybody's there. I mean, there's hundreds of millions of people there. I mean, aren't they up to 1 billion people on that system by now?
It wouldn't surprise me if it was. But when you talk about gaming, the first thing I think about is YouTube, and the last thing I think about is Facebook. I would actually think about Mixer before Facebook.
Yeah, but you know, there have been some controversies in the past regarding inflated numbers on Facebook. I know College Humor and Dorkly both claim that they were inflating numbers, and they'd moved so many resources there and away from YouTube that it hurt them and caused their companies to essentially pretty much collapse.
Yep.
So, you know, that's going to be interesting. There is a lot of concern. There's a lot of hatred there. You know, I'm agreeing with you on the toxicity there, but I got to say, social media in general is just toxic. It's really hard to stay out of it in general everywhere. All right, let's go ahead, though, and get to some bonus points. First up, friends of the show, Console Gaming Crew, which is a podcast you can pretty much find everywhere. They say they are not surprised about the merged. Honestly, we don't know much about Mixer or how it worked in relation to like how Twitch works, but we're not sure about how much better or worse they will end up with Facebook Gaming. Haven't seen what Facebook Gaming is about yet. Might check it out. I think that's common. Nobody knows what the heck Mixer was doing.
No, man.
I mean,
the only reason I know what Mixer is because it was on my Xbox dashboard.
I mean, you use a mixer to make cookies, right? I mean, that's right.
No, man, you use a mixer to change the audio on your recordings.
Ah. All right, you want to hit up the next one from our friend Part-Time Pixel?
So Part-Time Pixel, I think the way they did it with the employees finding out at the same time as the public was really bad. But it does make sense in the long run from a business perspective. Have you seen some of the videos that some of the Mixer partners have put out?
I have not. I didn't even know until I saw this tweet that they were apparently, the employees were hit with this news after it hit the public.
Yeah, dude. So a lot of the Mixer partners, people who have built these communities on Mixer, who have put time and effort into building on Mixer, were just told out of nowhere, oh, hey, you don't have a place anymore. We're moving over to Facebook. And Facebook was not offering their partners very much. I think there was I think if you were a partner on Mixer and you moved over to Facebook Gaming, you got an initial like $2,500, and that's it until you could build your community back up.
Wow. I'm going to go ahead and skip over to this next one. At MW Viking, which is a streamer that did mostly Mixer work. He says, I just feel like more competition between streaming platforms is better for the user. It makes the platforms keep trying new things, not just coast. I hope something comes soon to combat Twitch. I thought Mixer was a good start to that, and it did innovate. Twitch is just too big. I kind of agree with that in a sense, because whenever you have one group that runs everything, they get stagnant. Then you get locked into it, and there's no alternatives. Yeah, I think that's a valid point.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people that, like, when they go live, they stream to Twitch, they stream to YouTube, they stream to Mixer, and they stream it all at once. I can't tell you how many people I've seen do this.
I didn't know how to do that.
Well, I mean, you have to use like you have to have multiple streaming programs running and a PC that can do everything.
Oh, this poor computer that I'm about to rig up for all sorts of streaming. It's already groaning just hearing what you just said.
Yeah.
Do you want to get the one that's right above this by Controller Disconnected Podcast?
Yeah, so I agree with Controller Disconnected Podcast. I hate Facebook and everything about it. Yeah.
Real simple. To the point. Just hate it.
I agree.
All right. Next one is King Ping, it's EH Ping, who does stream on Twitter. I'm sorry, on Twitch. I'm really sad about it, honestly. The reason I started streaming was because of a guy on Mixer who had the most engaging environment. I wanted to provide that to someone else. That being said, he made the switch to Twitch and is doing just fine. Specifically at Spartacus Live is who he mentioned.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I think we did like one or two things on Mixer just because it was built into Xbox. But Twitch generally is easier to deal with.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people are on it, man, just because of the ease. What is it? Alana Pierce, somebody I follow on YouTube, Twitter. She also works with Funhouse, which is a gaming comedy movie channel that's part of Rooster Teeth as well. She was talking about how hard it was to use Mixer compared to YouTube and Twitch. So one of the things she also does besides gaming is DJing. And one of her streams that has gotten big recently is doing different genres of DJ streams. So, on Twitch, she could put either, like, just chatting or live DJing or something like that. On YouTube, same thing. On Mixer, you had to put a game. So, like, she would just pick the game that had the soundtrack that was most like the genre that she was DJing at the time. So she was doing her last stream was cyberpunk style music, synthwave type stuff. So obviously you want to put keywords in there so that more people come to your stream. So she put cyberpunk in there, cyberpunk style music stream. Well, on Mixer, she had to put a game. Did you know it let her put that she was playing Cyberpunk 2077?
Oh.
Yeah.
Which means everybody came to it.
Yeah, a whole lot of people came to it.
Yeah.
I bet they were a little upset when Cyberpunk 2077 wasn't being played.
Yeah, so, I know when we stream this podcast, there is one specifically for podcast and IRL is what it says.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, do you want to get the next one from Today in Games podcast?
Today in Games podcast says the optics are awful. Microsoft accused of spying, partnering with Facebook, constantly and aggressively accused of spying. Also, this would literally do nothing for Facebook gaming. Remember, nearly everyone started on Twitch. Facebook gaming isn't enticing enough for most to start over. I could see that. Because, like I was mentioning earlier, like, look at the type of videos that get views on Facebook. And before all this, I'd never heard of Facebook gaming.
Me either. And like I said, there's been some, not necessarily confirmed reports of inflated numbers, but you never know. But at the same time, there is such an amount of people there It's a tough one to get. But, as far as spying goes, man, I mean, at the same time, which one of these companies are not spying on you? Tinfoil hat, yes. But Twitch is associated with Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube is associated with Google. They all make their money off of determining where you want to spend your money and the trends of things and all this stuff. So, I mean, that's why I'm such a fan of competition. I kind of want to get away from all that. Like, if there was an alternative that wasn't using us to advertise or to sell a product to, that'd be great. But I don't know if that's a realistic endeavor. Yeah. Because then you move it over to, well, if it's a government platform, how does that alter things too? So reality sucks. All right.
They're just going to try and sell you cordyceps coffee.
Yep, they'll try to turn you to a zombie. That's what Facebook does. All right, Lamppost Gaming, which runs a really good Twitch group. I believe it's a good move by Microsoft, but it's also a terrible move for all the folks that were dedicated to Mixer. Those who spent time, money, and efforts on Mixer just have it swiped up from under them. I think it will open up more of an audience for Microsoft streaming, though. And that's probably true if it's already built into Facebook. And it's an automatic advertisement for the Xbox coming up. Because that's all Mixer really was. In a sense, it is a streaming service specifically for the Xbox. Not very many people, I think, really streamed through Mixer for the PlayStation or anything else. Whereas Facebook Gaming is supposed to be for everything, I'm assuming. I don't know, maybe we'll see it on the PlayStation 5. But it's not necessarily going to have that Microsoft attachment that Mixer did.
Yeah, from what I've seen so far, like in the past day or so that I found out about it, is that they do a lot of different streaming, but it's one of those, like you said, there's no app for it right now, so you have to stream through like OBS or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and we have our friends over at Parallax Media, Gamer Weekly is saying that they'll treat it like they did Mixer by forgetting it existed. Oh, snap. And to round it off, we have GW and Lamer Gamers Discord. Do you want to start this one out?
Fried Shoes. I love every time their name comes to I love that name, Fried Shoes. They posted a Futurama clip saying, "I have no strong feeling one way or another, and streaming is lame."
Yep, that's Fried Shoes. That is exactly what he would post.
Man.
And then we'll end it up with our friend Skies of Shoulder from the GW and Lamer Gamers Discords. He posted, I love that anytime it's on Discord, it's like automatic GIF. He posted a GIF of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air saying, "It is what it is." And then wrote, to be honest, though, I do question why they are partnering with Facebook of all companies. Granted, I'm a bit biased because I really don't like Facebook. Who does? And do plan on deleting my account likely this summer. I think a lot of us want to delete our accounts after this summer.
Yeah.
I want to delete mine so hard right now. And Twitter, though. I want to delete my Twitter right now. But I want to keep Lamer Gamers Twitter. I just want to get rid of my personal one. Anyway, so, I do think this is going to be an interesting issue. We'll see. I really think we're going to see Facebook Gaming just being offered as a service on the Series X. You'll probably see it as a service on PlayStation 5. You definitely won't see it on the Switch because if you tried streaming through the Switch, it'd probably explode. That toaster can only do so much, folks.
It would catch fire.
It would burn your toast.
You ever seen the video of the guy that stuck a knife into a plugged-in toaster?
I have not.
It explodes.
I don't want to. Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if that's what would happen if you did to the Switch.
Don't do this, Rowdy. All right. You got anything else before we close out the show?
Yeah, don't stick a knife into a toaster or a Switch.
Yes, that's bad for your health.
Yes.
All right. Now that this PSA is over. Thank you guys for listening to the Lamer Gamers podcast. We will be back next week with our monthly news roundup for June. So we've had some long episodes lately. This one's finally back to our regular hour and a half show. But there's been so much news that it's just been nonstop. Expect next week's show to be... We're going to try to hit the news quick without going too in-depth with discussion. But we will, of course, provide you timestamps if you are a Nintendo fan and you don't want to listen to the Xbox Nerdatry that I'm going to release onto your soul. Or if you are a Sony fan and you don't want to listen to Nintendo fanboy stuff that both of us will probably relinquish to the earth or whatever. So, all right, guys. Once again, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time on the Lamer Gamers podcast.
Remember to drink your cordyceps.
Yes, drink your cordyceps coffee.